After enjoying the view down into Poughkeepsie Gulch and Lake Como, it was time to head down off the pass towards Animas Forks. Okay, we're just leaving the top of California Pass. Heading down the hill. A 14-mile drive from California Pass at 12,960 feet to the ghost town of Animas Forks at 11,200 feet follows the West Fork of the Animas River through the California Gulch. You'll see that cloud of dust around Bruce, but not around Frenchie or anybody else. Bruce has his exhaust pipe turned down, pointing towards the ground instead of off to the side, so the exhaust is blowing up a lot of dust. That looks like an old boiler. It may have been used at the Mountain Queen mine, which is right below us. Or possibly a heat exchanger. One of the two. Okay, you do go down this way, yeah. We gotta pay attention to which road they took down. Well, you can go either way, I guess. Frenchie, we got one side-by-side coming up the hill.
Larry was letting me know there's a side-by-side coming up the hill.
Sounds like Frenchie is a bit off frequency on his radio.
involved and everything else. So these were people from all over settling in this area. Their original goal was to go to California, and for that reason it was referred to as California Gulch.
Right now we are passing through California Gulch on the way down from California Pass. And if I got my story straight, it was named California because the miners would take this trail headed for the California Gold Rush.
From there, it changed directions to get down to the actual processing area.
Frenchie, for some reason you're coming incredibly scratchy to me when you're talking.
When you were talking, Fritchie, Larry was complaining that you were coming in staticky, and he's just behind me. Larry, would you transmit again? He said you were staticky.
Okay, this is Larry, KG7WDX on a test.
Did you copy Larry, Fritchie? Okay, I want to talk on the handheld. Is that any better?
That's a whole lot better.
Clear here, too. But it's worse back here. It's good over here, but I do get a little feedback from Larry's radio. When he transmits. And I'm way in the back.
I'm going to stop for a minute and see if I can tighten up my aerial. Maybe it came out loose.
Okay.
All the connections are tight.
Still getting a little feedback. If you want to borrow that.
I'm rolling and I'm good the way it is. I can hear everybody else clearly.
Does anybody copy me?
Loud and clear.
Want to try it? No.
Just to my right is the West Fork of the Animas River.
Okay, how's that sound? Bruce says it's coming in here.
Stand back here.
Now look here, how do I sound though? Sound just like you. Who's in the back? I am the back. Tino. Bruce, did you copy that? Loud and clear. Right now I'm using my mobile radio, not the handheld. Let's see how it sounds. If you guys hear me, copy me, scratchy, let me know, please. Well, it's coming across with a little bit of a Spanish accent. That I cannot help. Ahora, que si quieres que te hable puras chingaderas, puedo hablar puras chingaderas.
Keep it clear back here.
I got you up front. You're good. Have I been clear pretty much all day until just recently?
Yes,
Okay. I think I have a friend in the group here. They have changed my frequency on the radio, and it was 465 instead of 460, and it was in the lock position. So somebody knew how to unlock it and just rotate the dial one, because that's the same. It's been lost, and I haven't turned that since the other day. You know, so I think maybe that's what's happened. Somebody was testing. Maybe it was a payback.
nice little stream down there to our right.
Not accusing anybody. I don't know.
I saw Tino messing around with your inside of your rig there earlier today.
I'm gonna stop over here and let the side by side go by here. By here.
Are you, Larry? You did make any adjustments lately?
Not me.
Everybody this morning was seeing that here on the highway and on the road up until we stopped at lunch. I'm not saying anything, but in the years past, people have even done things like remove my mic and screw it from the attaching point to the radio and things like that. So, I mean, only because this has been done has my mind gone that direction. And I may be totally out of line thinking that way too.
Well, it all started at the top of California Pass, so before that it was sounding good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, whether this time with somebody else or not, Frenchie, thanks for giving us the ideas of what to do next time we go.
Yeah, you guys ready for one of my stories? But it's a true one.
No.
I didn't know you had any true stories.
All of them are based on the truth. Most of them are actually true.
We've got a couple of Jeeps coming at us.
Thank you.
Did you say the name of this valley was, Frenchie?
This is California Gulch. You must feel right at home, you and Gino and Kurt.
I always envisioned the gulch being a little bit smaller. It looks like a glacially formed gulch.
I would say probably it had something to do with 12,000 years ago, the mini ice age we had. I would say it probably was, formed by glaciers. Watch out for the T-post fencing sticking out on the left side. Anything? Should be getting to the Jeeps here in a moment. There they are. Okay, they're right here coming up to me, so you might want to look for a pullover.
We're all pulling over. Send him on up.
Okay, he says, come on down.
You guys come through there?
What?
Did you guys come through there?
Yeah,
All right.
some tight turns, but you should be fine.
Good deal.
Howdy. They were from Missouri.
Missouri, the show me thing. So what did they show you?
They were courteous to yield to downhill traffic.
That's good. See? They must be from Missouri.
Yeah, they just asked me about the trail up ahead, and I just told them some sharp turns, but they should be able to do it fine in those rigs.
As I remember, there's a pit toilet at Animas Forks.
Yes, there is. We're going to stop, get out, let people walk around, check out some of the buildings. You can go into the Duncan house. That's the one that has the window that sticks out with the side 45-degree panels and somewhat. Now, the story goes that the Duncan married into the people, and I'm forgetting his name, that founded the Camp Bird mine, and very, very well and was wealthy. And at one time, the family owned the Hope Diamond. Now, some people will think, oh yeah, because that was a wedding present and they had it at their house here. Nobody, other people said no, they never did have it here. As old as I am, oh, there's a filled-in hole on the left there. And I don't know, but I'm just relaying what I've heard, what I've read.
And there's a couple more mines up ahead. You can tell some tailing piles.
You come down here, if you look at some of these tailing piles, they'll be going up the hill in a line, and that would be because there was a vein that may have been discovered higher up, and what they would
And there's a mine shaft right there.
and lifting all the trash and the ore out by going up through the shafts. They would come in at a lower angle and tunnel up to it. Then they could, put like a set of tracks and more cars down below, and just use a loading chute to load it into and haul it out. It was much easier work. If we had gone over, when we get to town, if you were to go back up over, like Engineer, and then go down to Mineral Point, you can see a lot of those tailing piles all in rows up and down the hill. Exactly like I was just explaining.
Boy, there's tailing piles all over here.
Just coming into view, looking down through the canyon, you can see the switchback going up, and that goes up over Cinnamon Pass there. That's the way we will go tomorrow, heading over towards Lake City. We'll come up through the valley and up to Animas Forks, and then up that direction. We won't go Engineer. Engineer's a lot bumpier, and I don't know whether we're going to have Chuck and Ann, if they're going to stay with us. They did say they were thinking of going over to Pueblo to look for some property and stuff like that. And I have a feeling it has to do with Ann and the elevation and her breathing problem. But I'm not going to say anything to their fault. What they're going. I don't want them to. I don't like them, but you got to do what's right for yourself and your health.
Remember, one ocean takes away 9 metaboys.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And that road on the side hill over there, we're going to be taking that tomorrow.
When we get into Animas Forks, you'll be able to see that small tram I was talking about. Some of the towers have collapsed. They're just a pile of like tree-sized logs and everything else. And you can see some of those scattered up and down the hill. And if you're not familiar with how those work, they had a heavy-duty fixed cable that had little trolley wheels on the cars that would hang from them. And then they would have a lighter steel cable that would be the one that would pull the ore car up when it was loaded up and then coming down. And a lot of the way most of them were set up is when they would come down, the wheels that were rolling on the heavy cable that carries the weight would roll off onto a train track, and then they could keep the thing moving, but the cars would leave the cable, and then they could dump that into the hoppers that hold it, and then send it back up, over the cable and continue on up again. So it was a continuous motion. It wasn't a stopping and starting situation.
Looks like this was an old stamp mill. Because I can tell that because of the foundation that's there. That road leads down into Placer Gulch. And Frenchie's talking to the guys on the motorcycle. And here comes the rest of the motorcycle crew. A couple more behind us.
There's $80 or $100,000 right there.
Some bikes here that are trying to get by, or at least one guy.
Bicycles or motorcycles?
Motorcycles.
Okay, because this other guy stopped. I think they may be with him. I'm not sure. Hey, I'm stopping with him.
Just keep going. You'll figure it out.
Got a pair of side-by-sides coming up at you.
ran into those guys before.
I missed
Yeah, there's a nice little old mine shack.
Not the biggie one.
Frisco Mines. Oh, looks like they got a couple of new buildings up there, as well as some rundown ones. And it's for sale. That mine is for sale by Caldwell Baker. Hey, Frenchie, would they work the mines in the winter?
A lot they would, but some they couldn't. That's why when the railroad got into here, they were able to keep doing it because they had a way then to get ore and supplies in and out, and they could, continue, mining here. Now, Animas Forks is burned down a number of times. Lightning strikes over the years. Been rebuilt a number of times. But back then, when gold strikes started,
The radio interference is from two people talking at the same time on one channel.
In the winter, they would go to another place and maybe work for another mine and then come back, in the spring when it was better. Those were the smaller mines or when they were first
Coming up behind you.
Lots of traffic right now.
Clear for these motorcyclists to get by?
The last guy there, he put his hand up with all the fingers closed saying he's the last one.
So,
I think that feedback that was coming on the radio.
one of you Spanish speakers, doesn't animus mean souls?
Animas means souls. Yes, sir.
So this is Animas Forks. Should it be the intersection of two souls?
Yeah, depends on the context that they wanted to give back then.
I think that the feedback was because Frenchie was talking and Minor was trying to butt in on the conversation. Oh, nice little creek down there. Old truck up there on the hill to the left.
Yes, Animas.
Same thing.
Welcome to Animas Forks.
On the lower end of town, after you get through town, you can see the area it's gone. That's where they had the turntable for the train here that went into Silverton.
So was that switchback road ahead of us train track at one time?
front of us? No. The train stopped just at the south or downhill end of Animas Forks. That is going up over Cinnamon Pass. That's the way we'll be going tomorrow, up those switchbacks. We won't need to come all the way right here into town. It winds at that first switchback. We'll just take that one out. There's also pit toilets at the other end of the where it joins the road going into Silverton. There's also another toilet up this direction here.
So what kind of vehicle is abandoned up here? Yes, it looks pretty old.
Yeah, it looks like it was most likely a pickup truck. I don't know. I walked up years ago and looked at it and said, yeah, it's an old vehicle. That's kind of all I remember from it.
But what is the cylinder fire in order?
Well, the Duncan house, as we cross the bridge at that first building on the right-hand side there, up a little bit. There's a parking area down here, and we'll go down there. And
You are invited to join us next time as we continue our west to east journey up to the top of Cinnamon Pass. Engineer Pass, Cinnamon Pass, and Animas Forks to the left. We were at Animas Forks yesterday.